good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I think I'll keep letting people in. My name is Shanda Ryan. I'm the Executive Director of the Navarre Beach Chamber. And if everyone will go ahead and mute your microphones so we can clearly hear whoever's speaking, including our guest speaker this morning. And I want to welcome all our chamber members, prospective members, community leaders, and our neighbors that are joining us this morning. And if you're not currently a chamber member, we hope that you'll consider joining the chamber soon. Today's agenda is going to include some networking time and hopefully a chance to meet some of our new members and some announcements. And then our guest speaker this morning is Santa Rosa County District 5 Commissioner Lynchard. And now I want to introduce our navigators captain, Gretchen Carter with Organized Occasions Concierge. And Gretchen, since there's some new faces on the meeting this morning, if you'll take just a minute to explain your business, because I think in the times we're going through now, especially the more people that know about your business, the more visitors will feel comfortable coming and staying in a condo or vacation rental home.
Sure. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to do that. So Organized Occasions Concierge, I provide meal planning and grocery delivery service to vacationers. So if a family has booked a vacation rental out on the island, they can order their groceries through me. I will do the shopping for them and deliver the groceries to their vacation unit before they check in. So what that does for us as a community is that limits the amount of visitors that are in our grocery stores doing their shopping. And what it does for them is it limits their exposure to us as well, right? So it's a win-win on both sides of that equation. And the other value that they get is they gain back a tremendous amount of time. If you've ever traveled and checked into a timeshare or a vacation rental, you know there's nothing there. There's no salt and pepper shakers. There's a minimum amount of paper towels and toilet paper and that kind of thing, but there's no food. And so you go to a grocery store that you're not familiar with, it's going to take you longer. And you've just been in the car. For many of our visitors here, they are driving in. And so they've been in the car 6, 8, 10 hours. I worked with a family last week and she said, well, you know, last year when we came, I shopped at 11:30 at night. Well, guess what? You can't do that now. The stores aren't open at that time, right? So the service is designed so that I can get with the property management company. The property management company knows me, allows me access to their unit. Everything is there when they arrive, and literally they can start their vacation sooner. So that's what Organized Occasions does for our visitors. And if you own a property or you know property management companies, I'd love to connect with you. Here in a minute, we're going to all put our information into the chat box. So if you see my information there, please reach out to me. I'll give my cell phone and my email address. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the navigators. So the navigators are business owners here in Navarre, and we volunteer our time to help the chamber by helping new members, prospective members, really learn about the chamber and also learn about how they can make the most of their chamber membership. So I want to just kind of call out a few names, and if you've got your video on, give a big wave. So people know that you're a navigator. So I see we've got Lisa Galerno on there. She's given us a big wave. Mike and Nancy Sandler are on, so we get a wave from them. Monica Meyer is on, and we'll get a big wave from her. And then as Mike is, TJ Edwards, do I see video on? Okay, there you are, TJ. You're at the bottom of my screen. Sorry about that. Very good. Did I miss anyone? Wait, where's the infamous Mike Simpson? Not on today? No video? All right, well.
Did you introduce Paula? She's on, but she doesn't have her video.
Oh, no, I didn't see her. Hey, Paula. Paula's another one of our navigators. So like I said, we are here to help you navigate through this process of joining the chamber and making the most of your chamber membership. All right, so this is our networking time. So a couple of things that I'd like for everyone to do is in the chat box, put in there, of course, your name and the business that you own or represent. And then give us a little bit of information, maybe some updates. Are you offering some specials right now that you'd like for all of us to know about? Do you have a service that is unique, like my vacation delivery service, kind of a unique service? So if you've got something that's unique for all of us, please put that information in the chat. Our goal is that as everyone starts to put the information in, as we're listening to the guest speaker and going through the rest of the meeting, check back over to that chat box and see if there are 2 people that you want to make connections with in this next week. And again, you can make connections with a phone call, you can do a Zoom meeting like this that we're doing, or you can do a face-to-face meeting, of course, wearing your mask. So again, you've got 3 options: mask, lipstick, or phone call. Figure out which one you want to do and make those happen for everyone. So we're going to take a few minutes, let everybody do that. And while we're doing that, I want to introduce Monica Meyer, who is the Chamber's 2020 Chairman of the Board. She's got some other announcements, and then we'll be introducing our guest speaker. So Monica, take it away.
Thank you, Gretchen. And if you are new or haven't joined the chamber yet, or just newly joining the chamber, the navigators are just an awesome way to get plugged into the community and just start making it really great connections with the businesses and organizations in the area. I want to thank everybody for joining us virtually for our, well, I guess it's our first July Commerce and Coffee, Christmas in July. But it is a 3rd or 4th virtual meeting. But thank you so much. It's good to see everybody on here. By the way, Shanda, I love your background. I was just saying that. I can't believe it's already the end of July. I said at the beginning of July, and it just seems like the months are just flying by. And it's certainly been an interesting year this year. I'm sure everyone can also agree to that statement. But I have full confidence that we will all prevail and come out of this year stronger, definitely wiser, and hopefully a little bit more kinder toward each other. Before I get started, I just have a few announcements. Monday, August 3rd at 11:30 a.m., the Chamber's Military Affairs Committee invites you to a virtual meeting where the guest speaker will be the very first female commander at Hurlburt Field, Colonel Jocelyn Schermerhorn. Everyone is invited, and Shanna's going to put a link to the registration in the chat. If you and or someone else in your organization or business would like to be part of that virtual meeting, please come and join us Monday at 11:30 a.m. It should be a lot of really great information. Also, just a reminder, Ask Adam is a no-cost confidential business consulting, and he is now virtual on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. till noon. I know, Shanda, I believe that you're going to put some more details about that also in the chat. Please, 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 if you haven't utilized this service, just check it out. Adam is an amazing resource for businesses and can help you with just about any aspect of your business, from just a quick question to really in-depth consulting. So please check it out. And now I would like to introduce our guest speaker this morning. Mr. Lane Lynchard is an attorney with Lynchard & Seeley, PLLC in Navarre. He has practiced law since 1998 and is a member of Community Life United Methodist Church. After graduating from Milton High School in 1990, Lynchard earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance from the University of South Alabama in 1994, graduating cum laude. He earned his Juris Doctor from Cumberland School of Law in 1997, graduating cum laude, and his LLM Master of Laws in Taxation from the University of Florida in 1998. Commissioner Lynchard was elected to the Santa Rosa County Board of County Commissioners in 2008, and his leadership following the 2010 BP oil spill included being involved in the formative planning of the Restore Act, led to his being given the Presidential Advocacy Award by the Florida Association of Counties for his role in the federal legislation. The Restore Act is now being fully implemented with environmental and water quality benefits that will stretch long into the future. Commissioner Lynchard has served on the Florida Commission on Oil Spill Response Coordination and currently serves the Finance and Audit Committees for the Gulf Consortium, which administers the state component of the BP Restore funds. Commissioner Lynchard lives in Tiger Point with his wife, Lori, and son, Brian. Welcome so much, Commissioner Lynchard. You're on mute. There you go.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me all right? We normally use Microsoft Teams for meetings, so I'm not as familiar with Zoom. But thank you for inviting me this morning, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with the Chamber. We'll talk about the Restore Act and then also economic development and what we have going on in Santa Rosa County. There are some exciting things. As Monica said, we're going to come out of this year stronger, and I'll share some of the reasons why that's going to happen pretty soon. But we'll tackle Restore first. And for those of you who haven't been around here through the entire oil spill and everything that followed, after the oil spill, a first of its kind funding mechanism was established through the Restore Act. And Restore allocated the Clean Water Act fines that were assessed against BP and the other partners in the Deepwater Horizon well. And those Clean Water Act fines were allocated essentially among three components. One was a direct component that, in the case of Florida, came directly to the counties. Another was a state expenditure plan that came to the state of Florida, and in Florida's case is administered through the Gulf Consortium, through a state expenditure plan that's been developed over the past 7 years or so since it was established. And then there's a Gulf-wide component that's administered by the Gulf Coast Ecosystem Restoration Council. The Restore Act has given Santa Rosa County and the Gulf region an opportunity to invest in projects that are going to have a long-lasting impact on our environment. Local projects in Santa Rosa County can be funded by the Deepwater Horizon oil spill penalties through our direct component, which is about $29 million. The Gulf Consortium, which our share of that's about $13 million. And the Gulf Coast Ecosystem Restoration Council. We don't get a dedicated portion of that, but we've seen some significant benefits from it, and I'll talk about that also. We also have really generational projects that have been funded by the Natural Resource Damage Assessment, or NRDA, as well as the National Wildlife Foundation. So our direct component, or Pot 1 funds, again, is approximately $29 million in Santa Rosa County, paid out through 2031. So it's a truly multi-year implementation plan that we've come up with that was approved by the Treasury. Our initial MYIP included 10 projects, many of them smaller projects in scope, most of them less than $1 million. Our foundation. Now, we tried to stretch our dollars and get matching funds from whoever was sponsoring that particular project. As an example, the City of Gulf Breeze has an outfall project and stormwater project that we just entered into the final funding agreement with about a month ago. And the Restore component of that is about half of the value of the project. So we were able to leverage our Restore dollars to get the maximum impact we can. Now, during the implementation of that first plan, we found out that the administrative burden for these projects is significant. These are federal grants, so they're all administered according to that process. So whether the project is small or large, you have this baseline administrative burden that eats up a significant amount of time and money. So when we were developing our next MYIP, round 2, if you will, we made the decision to focus on larger projects. The local Restore Council started meeting first of the year and worked through the spring and settled on 3 projects. One was stopping the discharge from the wastewater treatment beach. We've been trying for years and years to get that effluent piped off the beach rather than emptying it into the sound and move it up to Eglin to Basin. Been in place with Eglin, that's been there for a few years. So we can complete that project. Another project was relocating the Milton wastewater treatment plant because they do water. But we want to get the rib system near Whiting Field. Then the third project is with the City of Gulf Breeze, SSRUS, to their project's kind of multifaceted, but the grand scope of it is to upgrade the Tiger Point wastewater treatment facility, interconnect with Holly Navarre water system and Navarre Beach so that they can take our effluent, doesn't get reused, but will get shipped up to Eglin, and then treat that effluent to a level so that it can be used in a beneficial manner. You know, they have the purple pipe, and customers throughout the peninsula that are connected to SSRUS use that for irrigation. Their project also eliminates septic tanks in the city of Gulf Breeze. You know, the city is a small geographic area. They've done a good job over the years of trying to eventually work towards eliminating all the septic tanks, and this would allow them to do that. These are all immediate needs, 1 to 5 years. The city of Milton and Gulf Breeze, actually within the next 12 months, they want to start on their projects. Santa Rosa County project is a little further off, but it's still, we're hoping to get started within 3 years anyway. I mentioned that our funding comes through 2031. Well, we don't quite have enough money already in the account to pay for all 3 of those projects. And because of the way the federal legislation is set up, we can't bond against our restore dollars that we know we're entitled to. So we have to wait until we accrue those to move forward with the projects. So the local Restore Council wanted to move forward with all 3. It wasn't feasible. So we selected the Gulf Breeze project and the Milton project. And then my board opted to shift funding in the state expenditure plan to the Navarre Beach wastewater treatment facility so that we can fully fund that project as well. So the end result is that we're going to get all 3 projects funded. We will have eliminated the discharge of effluent into Navarre Sound, the Santa Rosa Sound. We will have eliminated the discharge of effluent in the Blackwater River, and we will have eliminated septic tanks in the city of Gulf Breeze, which can be a big source of leachate getting into the bay and sound in their case over time. The MYIP that includes those 2 projects that are the subject of the local component is out for a 45-day public review right now. Once that time period is up, staff will gather all the public comments and reviews together, put that in a report, get it back to my board, and then we will approve it for submission to the Treasury Department. And then the Treasury Department will work through and approve that MYIP, and hopefully by the end of the year, it can be approved and these projects will be ready to get started. So that's the local component. And another part of our state expenditure plan in addition to the Navarre Beach Wastewater Treatment Facility, is eliminating septic tanks on Soundside Drive. We have one segment of Soundside Drive that does not have septic service. They don't have the line down the road, so there's no way for people to connect. One of our state expenditure plan projects will lay that last mile, if you will, of pipe, so that people that are on Soundside Drive, on the water or around the water, can connect to the sewer at no charge and get off of septic tanks. So hopefully that will allow us to eliminate all septic tanks in that area over time. In addition to, I mentioned NERDA and the National Wildlife Foundation. Those are some of the most exciting projects that have already been done or are underway in Santa Rosa County, and that impact Navarre tremendously. We were actually one of the first beneficiaries after the BP oil spill when Escribano Point was acquired with MOEX funds. MOEX was one of the minor partners in the Transocean rig. In total, about $10 million has been spent or allocated at Escribano Point. Is everybody familiar with Escribano Point? Just give me a little wave. No. Escribano Point is tucked in behind Choctaw Field. So if you go up 87, turn left on Choctaw Field Road, you go down there and you'll eventually turn north before you get to the installation, wind around that, and you'll get to Escribano Point. It's over 4,000 acres, unspoiled, pristine, with miles of bayfront, and that is all publicly owned now, and it's managed by Florida Fish and Wildlife. It's an awesome place. If you haven't been there, you should go out there. If you like to kayak, there's amazing shallow water sloughs and estuaries back in there to enjoy. But part of the funding that they've received is going to go to informational kiosks, amenities like campsites, basically low impact amenities. It's not going to be an active park. It's a passive park. Lots of hiking and again, miles of waterfront. So that's Escribano Point, really a gem in Navarre. And it's nice to know, I mean, that 4,000 acres will never be disturbed or developed. And it's a great place to visit. All the locals around here call it Scavan Point. It used to be known as Scavan Point. Another really cool and major project is the oyster habitat program in East Bay. This was first about a $1.7 million pilot program and study that the Nature Conservancy brought to the board and the Gulf Coast Ecosystem Restoration Council and NERDA. It was funded. They studied East Bay. If you've been around here, you know East Bay used to be a great oyster habitat. I may be biased, but I think some of the best oysters around here came out of East Bay. But the oyster population in East Bay was decimated, and harvesting was shut down for years. This project has now been funded for construction. It's a $15 million project that is going to install 33 different oyster reefs along 6.5 miles of coastline in East Bay, including that Escribano Point area. Think of Project Green Shores on Bayfront over in Pensacola and how successful that was at cleaning up that part of Pensacola Bay, and then stretch it out for over 6 miles. And this project has the potential to make East Bay cleaner and much healthier for the fish hatchery and grasses that we have there. Another ongoing seagrass project is down at Naval Live Oaks in Gulf Breeze. If you've ever waded out there or kayaked or spent any time in Naval Live Oaks, you know there's a lot of seagrass on the south side of Naval Live Oaks. It's been damaged and prop scarred over the years. So we have a project that's underway to increase the health of the seagrass there. But there are a lot of other projects that have also been funded. Offshore reefs all along the Gulf Coast. The third walkover and pavilion on Navarre Beach, stormwater improvements, erosion and settlement control in the Yellow River watershed, Rattlesnake Bluff, scallop restoration. I grew up around here, and we used to have a real healthy scallop population in our local waters, and we would go out in the summer, and that's been shut down for years, and you hardly see any scallops anymore. So I'm excited to see what happens to that fishery over the years. Nearshore reefs, I know Mike has been heavily involved in that over the years. Water quality and recreation projects that have already made a big impact and are going to benefit us for decades. So those are just really exciting projects that, again, we wouldn't have been able to fund absent this disaster. So there is good that's going to come out of the BP oil spill. Any questions on Restore before I move on to economic development? Okay. And we can come back. If you think of any Restore projects, you can let me know. The economic development is, we're kind of at a tipping point with economic development in Santa Rosa County. Our team has been working for years to get us to where we are now. And I think we're on the verge of seeing the vision of 2 of our industrial parks fulfilled. We have 4 industrial parks essentially in the county. The original industrial park, which is for all intents and purposes full. The Jeff Yates Road Industrial Park, which is called Santa Rosa Industrial Park East. And just 2 or 3 years ago, we had our first tenant that opened up out there, and that's Cape Horn Boats. Cape Horn was located in a small facility in our existing park. They built a really nice, large-scale manufacturing facility and are turning out great boats that have just grown in popularity over the last few years. And we still have about 112 acres in Park East that can be developed. Our economic development team, Shannon Ogletree, Erica Grancagnola, Tina, they work with site consultants throughout the country, putting Santa Rosa County in front of them, letting them know what we have to offer. There's a lot of competition among different communities throughout the country for these jobs. And we've been competing against Alabama and Georgia for years, and they have had dedicated funding sources for economic development. So they have had tools that we haven't, and a lot of times they have been successful in recruiting these businesses to their communities. You remember Mercedes was the first auto plant that opened up in Alabama. I think they got $1 billion economic development incentive package, and that has happened time and time again in Alabama. They really write big checks to get companies to go there. But with Triumph Gulf Coast, which also came out of the BP oil spill, we have those tools that we can use to fund infrastructure and incentives to land those companies in the Panhandle. Triumph was funded by the state settlement with BP, and there's $1.5 billion that is allocated and dedicated to economic development in the Panhandle. That's a tremendous tool in our kit to go after and recruit large businesses, and it's working. It really is working. And manufacturing jobs move the needle on a local economy because they spin off so many ancillary jobs in the community. We recently announced 3 new companies that plan to build and locate in Santa Rosa Park East. These are set to bring 110 new jobs to the county and millions in new investment. They're all still going by code names. If you're familiar with economic development, you know everybody holds their cards close to their vest. So, we can't reveal their company name, but Project O Brother is a company that provides industrial powder coating They're planning on building 3 acres out in Park East with 50 new jobs and about $1 million capital investment. They're probably going to be the first one that starts construction and opens their doors. Project Hard Metal is a CNC and metal stamping company. They're going to, in total, have about 25 jobs, and they're going to be located on 5 acres, again, with about $1 million investment in Park East. And then the largest of the 3 that were recently announced is Project Induction. They're going to occupy 40 acres in Park East. They're a manufacturing company for renewable energy components, and they're going to bring a $20 million capital investment and 50 new jobs to Park East. So together, these companies are going to have about $100 million annual impact on our county's GDP. And that's what keeps everybody's income rising and our local small businesses in a good spot. The Northwest Florida Industrial Park at I-10 is another park currently vacant. But we just announced Project Yummy, which is a distribution company. They plan to build a 25,000 square foot facility with a $2.5 to $3 million capital investment on 5 acres of that park with 30 jobs coming to Santa Rosa County. And then we have 2 really big projects that are slated for the industrial park at I-10. One is Project Lionheart, which is pre-approved for Triumph application of $4 million. They're a medical device and pharmaceutical distribution company. Lionheart is, again, subject of a Triumph grant, but they're also going to make a $6 million investment in their capital. They're a veteran-owned company. They sell medical products for casts, knee replacement, tissue replacement, and other applications. Importantly, they're creating about 90 new jobs, paying 150% of the existing average wage in Santa Rosa County. So these are the kinds of jobs we need. This is how we diversify our economy and protect our economy in a downturn like we're going through right now. The other biggest hitter of them all is Project Runner, which is a distribution company with a potential for 400 new jobs and a capital investment in the tens of millions of dollars. Again, that's a Triumph application. Things have slowed down with the COVID shutdown, but we're starting to see that move again, and hopefully we'll have something on our agenda soon to address that. Now, the biggest project in the pipeline that's closest to fruition is Leonardo. And that is for our last untouched or unoccupied industrial park, the Whiting Aviation Industrial Park. Leonardo was selected to manufacture the new next generation training helicopter for the Navy. They will be the first tenant at Whiting Aviation Park. That park is adjacent to Whiting Field, and this is the culmination of years of work by the board, the economic development team, the Navy. We have a through the fence agreement with Whiting Field with the Navy to access that runway from the Whiting Aviation Park. So they will be able to build a $25 million facility at Whiting Aviation Park and provide all the maintenance and warranty and service work on the helicopters by pulling them through the fence. They don't have to go off site to get that work performed. So this was a huge deal for the county. We were successful in getting an $8.5 million Triumph grant for infrastructure at the park. That construction bid was awarded in March. That work is ongoing now. They are blowing and going out there trying to get the site ready for Leonardo. But again, total, that's about a $35 million investment in phase 1 for their maintenance and service facility, 50 new jobs in the county. And that was a partnership. There were a lot of players at the table there between Leonardo, the Navy, Triumph Gulf Coast, and then Space Florida. Space Florida, this is their first project they've done with Santa Rosa County. They are actually doing all of the financing for Leonardo. So we have now been successful in bringing them to the table, and hopefully they'll be there at the next project, because I think this is a game changer for Santa Rosa County. Leonardo will be a huge catalyst for the next avionics company or aviation related company that wants access to those runways at Whiting, and that can utilize that unique through the fence agreement that we have. Let's see. Now, to get Leonardo established and set up, we're building a hangar for them at Peter Prince Airport. That's a little over $1 million project. This hangar is going to service their needs until their big facility is complete at Whiting Aviation Park. We're actually having a groundbreaking next week, Wednesday, at Peter Prince, to go ahead and get this hangar underway. Once we get the hangar built, Leonardo can start working on their FAA certifications that can then be transferred to their facility at Whiting Aviation Park without any delay. So it gets them a one step ahead when they finally are ready to turn the keys and open the doors. So our economic development team is not sitting back. They have more in the pipeline, but they don't just focus on big projects. When the shutdown first occurred, I called Shannon Ogletree, our economic development director, and asked him to retask our economic development department to get support out to our small businesses that were going to be struggling. And within a week, he had SantaRosaReady.com up and running, which is a clearinghouse of information for local businesses, small businesses in Santa Rosa County, to connect them with the resources, whether they're state, federal, or local, that they need to work through the different grants and funding sources that are available. We've done a couple of small business grant programs in Santa Rosa County. Gulf Power has done a small business grant program that benefited our small businesses. But I think the most important thing we can all do is continue to visit our small businesses, support those small businesses, because Amazon's going to be here in 2 years. Your local restaurant or gift shop or retailer may very well be gone in 6 months. You know, we are not through the end of the pandemic, and our as we saw yesterday when the unemployment numbers came out nationwide, we're still not in a good spot, and we need to support our local small businesses. So I appreciate everything that the Chamber of Commerce is doing to support our small businesses. Our economic development team is here to assist in whatever way they can with small businesses. And just if you have any questions or need anything from the county and need to get put in touch with anybody, please feel free to reach out to me. So that's all I have on economic development this morning, but I'll be glad to open it up for questions.
No one has a question? It doesn't have to do, I mean, it could be about anything to do with the county if you have a question.
Hey, Shanda.
Hey.
Hey, Lane, this is Brenda Kay with Express Employment. And one thing that to piggyback off your comment with regards to, you know, unemployment and everything, and certainly our numbers are shrinking. But one thing that I want to share with the group that I find refreshing, you know, certainly here in the state of Florida, we know how driven hospitality, tourism, and everything is. And, you know, across both counties, Santa Rosa and Escambia, our office, you know, franchise covers as far as staffing is concerned. And I will say this, that, you know, since Governor DeSantis reopened the state in phase 1 back at the beginning of May, and, you know, everybody that I've been on the call with the Navarre Chamber has heard me say each time the numbers of jobs that we have in our office that we're working to fill. And it's comforting to me with the job that you commissioners have done across both counties in keeping our area diversified, so that all of our eggs are not in one basket, either military or tourism, that we've got these other businesses that we can turn to keep our economic foundation afloat. And so, you know, to piggyback off what you've said as far as all these projects and everything, that's the one thing as an outside sales rep for Express and somebody who's been in the recruiting and staffing industry for 31 years that I am, you know, happy to see across our 2-county area.
Thanks, Brenda. And that's an excellent point. We have worked to diversify our economy, and that's one of the actually one of the stated goals of the Restore Act is to diversify your economy. So we've utilized the Triumph funds to do that. If you look at our unemployment rate, we were among the lowest in the state going into the shutdown, around 2.7%. And then our unemployment rate, that was well under the state average. Our unemployment rate went up to around 11.8 or 12. But it was lower than Escambia, it was lower than Okaloosa, and now it's already back down in the 6% range. I don't know what'll happen with the expiration of the PPP loans and the enhanced unemployment compensation checks. That project is up in the air. Who knows what Congress and the Senate and the White House are going to do, or when they're going to do something. But that's why we have to concentrate on diversifying our economy. And you can see that in our the median household income in Santa Rosa County. You know, we have, a lot of people don't realize this, we have the 4th highest median household income in the state out of 67 counties. We're about $65,000 per year median household income. Our median household income grew 22% over the last decade. The state grew at 12%. So you can see in those numbers, our jobs are not just service industry jobs, tourism and hospitality. We're getting higher paying jobs in Santa Rosa County. And that's the goal of our economic development efforts.
Any other questions?
Hey,
Mike.
Mike Sandler.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Could you talk about 2 of the new eco-friendly projects over in your district, the boat launch improvements and the new walking trail that's kind of hidden back there that maybe not many people know about?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We have I'll tackle the boat ramp first. Oriole Beach boat ramp has been in poor shape, and right now we have a project that's underway that the piers and decking are being demoed, and we're going to replace the entire structure, the pier and the decking. We had to do it at before boating season came to an end, so we got a lot of negative feedback on that, but really our hands were tied because that's a grant-funded project, and we were going to risk running out of time. These grant projects have a hard deadline, and you never know how long permitting is going to take. So when we finally got the permits to move forward with the project, we were getting to the point where we were going to be pushed up against a construction deadline. So we had to go ahead and close the ramp about 2 weeks ago, which I told our grants director, snapper season's not open. We have one more weekend, but unfortunately, last weekend, but is underway. Should take about 90 days to complete, but you never know with hurricane season in Florida how many delays you're going to go through with construction. But in April, we did a similar renovation to Woodlawn Beach boat ramp. So that boat ramp was refurbished, renovated, and it is in great shape now. The Godwin Connect project you mentioned, it's located between Soundside Drive and Madura and Tiger Point. Godwin Connector is 1,150 foot long path through a natural wetland area. About 880 feet of that is a raised boardwalk. It's 10 foot wide. It's all ADA accessible. So folks that are mobility impaired can still go out there and enjoy the park. Or enjoy the path. It provides a safe connection for kids in Soundside that want to ride their bikes or walk over to Tiger Point Park. They have a sidewalk the entire way up to the park. And it really does provide great interconnectivity between Soundside and Tiger Point. That project has been years in the making and years in permitting, which is why we ended up having to go with an elevated boardwalk through the wetland area. Just last week, we had the virtual ribbon cutting. We've had a ribbon cutting planned for several months, but because of the COVID shutdown, we haven't been able to get out there and do a ribbon cutting. And finally, we said, well, let's go ahead and open it up. People are using it anyway, so let's go ahead and get out there. So if you'll go to my District 5 Facebook page, you can see the virtual ribbon cutting, and we have drone video of the Godwin Connector, and it shows the wetland area and the pond. And if you go out there, you'll probably see some snakes and other critters, but it's a great area. And it's just going to get better because part of the grant that we received requires us to plant, I think, 300 sweet bay magnolias. So as those mature, the walk and the view is just going to get better and better. And there's a small parking area on the Soundside Drive side of that. So on the side of the connector. Anyone else?
Is it pet friendly?
Yes, yes.
I've been wanting to go over there, but I did not ever heard of it. So I was excited to hear about it.
It's nice, and it's very functional to provide that connection between the two communities. Yeah, get out there and take a look at it. It's a great place to go for a walk. It's less than a quarter mile long, so it's not much of not an exercise path, but it's a good place to walk through the woods.
Any other questions? If you want to unmic yourself and ask. No? Okay, Monica.
Thank you, Lane. I actually know that Soundside area pretty well. Lots of great little trails back in there. And it looks like there's a piece of a boat. I've always wondered what that, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, kind of in that open area near the coast. It looks like there's a piece of an old boat or old ship there. So it's always really, really nice to walk through there. Thank you so much, Commissioner Lynchard, for your service and dedication to Santa Rosa County. Before we conclude, I just want to ask if anyone on here, any of the attendees have any announcements for their businesses or organizations that they want to share with us.
Tiffany?
Mike, how are the reefs looking?
Tiffany always has something to talk about.
Well, I was going to tell you to watch out for those China seeds.
I did hear about those.
And
I think Carmen's on here. Carmen got some, didn't she?
Carmen, did you get seeds? Please don't plant them. You might make a jack of the beanstalk. And then the other thing is we've got some postcards from, they want to celebrate their silver anniversary for Southwest Getaways. Just be careful. This is what the front of the postcard looks like. Several of our BBBs have had some interesting interactions with some of them. They're not technically scams, but you just want to be watching because the way that they market themselves and what they promise that you'll get, you're probably not going to get it the way you think you're going to get it.
Hey, Tammy, we weren't really able to see those postcards very well. The background kind of faded it out.
Let me multitask.
Lane, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Just a reminder for everyone, the census is out right now. So if you haven't filled out your census form, please do that because it does make a difference to the funding that we receive as a county. And our county is, we're doing really good. Our return rate is one of the highest in the state. So let's keep it that way. And if you haven't filled out that census form, you can go online and do that.
And it literally takes less than 5 minutes to do.
It does.
It's super easy.
Tiffany, did you want to give us an update?
Well, of course.
Oops, I didn't mute myself.
Emerald Coast Regional Council's always got something going on for your betterment. So right now we are wrapping up our long-range transportation plan major update. And I know that y'all had given us some good feedback. So we appreciate that as we look forward to 2045. But right now we're in our annual update. So we're updating our annual priorities. So every year we go through everything that's on that list and in that queue for those big dollars. As Commissioner Lynchard can attest, he sits on our TPO board, and we're now in the phase where we're looking for the public to give input on what's currently on that list, what they would like to see addressed. So I'm going to put a link. We've got a survey up right now, and it'll take you just a few minutes to go through that survey and fill it out and give us your input.
Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else that wants to share anything? Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining us today. We certainly appreciate it. And just to let you know, be on the lookout soon. We are hoping to find a new location to have our next Commerce and Coffee in person. So please be kind of aware of that. But this will conclude this morning's Commerce and Coffee. We encourage you to stay connected to the Chamber. If we can help in any way, please let us know. Don't forget about Ask Adam on Tuesdays, 9 till noon. We still have our virtual tourism committee meetings. We just had one yesterday, I believe. We still have a virtual small business committee meeting, which is just an awesome meeting with lots of great information and collection of information too. And I just hope everyone has a great weekend. Just be safe, be patient with what's going on out there, and be kind to others. And don't forget to support our small businesses at this time. They are certainly vital to our community. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Lane.
you. Thank you.
Jolly Christmas.